welcome to the Garbage Time Podcast. I'm your host, Katie Nolan. Today I'm joined by producer Matt.
Yo.
Yo. And producer Dave.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. And they want to talk to you about their underpants.
Oh,
again.
yeah. Yeah, we do.
Mac Weldon. And I'm going to sit in silence for this today because boy, am I uncomfortable. Take it away, producer Matt and producer Dave.
I mean, I was hoping you would look deep into our eyes as we talked about our underpants again, since that went so well last week.
I just can't do that. I'll just stare out forever.
I've been, wearing Mac Weldon all week, and they're just beyond comfortable. And the good thing is, I've worn them in like lots of different locations, same comfort no matter where I went.
Whoa.
Went to a Knicks game in them, went to dinner in them, wore them to work, comfortable.
Did you go on a helicopter date?
Went on a helicopter date with them, comfortable in the air just as they are on the ground.
That's amazing.
Yeah, well, since I have like a way cooler life, I like went scuba diving in them.
Oh,
and
do you wear underwear under your bathing suit?
Yes, at
Is
all
that
times.
all men? Because I feel like you used to not, and now people do. Garrett's saying he doesn't.
I used to not, but then once I got Mac Weldon's, I'm like, I'm not taking these off.
Okay, well now you're just
Yeah.
being ridiculous. But you guys that are listening to this at home, they want you to be comfortable. So if you don't like your first pair, you can keep it and you still get your refund, which is crazy. No questions asked, which is good, because if I've learned anything, it's don't ask questions about people's underwear.
Yeah.
It's not, you won't like the response.
Katie.
So go to macweldon.com and get 20% off using the promo code GARBAGETIME, all one word, no spaces. That's Mac Weldon, MacWeldon.com. Promo code GARBAGETIME, no spaces, for 20% off of your panties.
Someone just did that, right? You
Yeah,
just
someone
retweeted them on
tweeted
Twitter.
it.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
cool. You
It's
guys
working.
are using
It's a
our
movement.
promo codes.
Love it.
Free money for you. Okay, so later in the show, I'll be joined by former UFC lightweight champion Frankie Edgar. Here is a quick moment from that chat. I mean, it's Conor, so he's always going to say something.
You got to take everything he says with a grain of salt, because, I mean, he kind of reminds me of my 1-year-old daughter. He doesn't shut up, and I can't understand half the shit he says. You know what I'm saying? So it's, he's great at what he does. He does. I mean, he makes me laugh sometimes. Even when he's talking about me, he makes me laugh. He's a funny guy, but I don't take him serious.
So more with Frankie coming up later in the podcast. But first, we don't have a TV show right now. We're on hiatus. I believe that's Spanish for holy shit, do we still have a show?
It is. It's the exact translation.
But so we're kind of doing some other stuff to stay busy, and I did a radio show. I hosted a radio show last night.
How did that go?
It went well. It was 3 hours, which is a little bit different than the pre-recorded half hour once a week we do here at Garbage Time.
Right.
It was a 3-hour radio show live on Sirius, and I co-hosted with Chris Carlin. He's from, you might know him from like SNY.
Yep.
He's great. We had a lot of fun. We talked about like whatever we felt like. But I will say, like I said, first time hosting a radio show, and a man called in.
Oh boy.
Oh, no.
And I actually don't want to say the phrase because it doesn't feel nice, but it doesn't land as well if I don't. But so he called in and ended his phone call with the phrase, "Fuck you, C-word."
Wow.
And I mean that C-word. Because I obviously tweeted like, wow, a guy just called in and called me a C-word. And people were like, courageous, comedic? No, see you next Tuesday. Yelled it at me and hung up the phone because
Why?
Why stay on the line? There's not more. It's like, oh, hang up and listen. F you, C-word.
Sorry to hear
Why
that.
did you say that?
It's like it's not even, it's more funny than anything that like, wow, that's you. I can't believe the audacity it takes to call into a radio station and go, you know what? I'm gonna drop a C-bomb here. I'm gonna drop a C-bomb, and I think that's a good idea. And what it was over was we were talking about tipping, and the man called in to say that if service is bad, or that servers nowadays are bad, and so he doesn't tip. And all I was doing was explaining to him that like, well, that's how the service industry works, and it's actually not fair to the server, and the only person who profits from you doing that is the restaurant owners, and that's kind of fucked up, and that if you really disagree with tipping as a practice, and you should petition or lobby for the right people to change the way the restaurant industry is working, but you can't just decide you're not going to do it based on your own principles because it's really... Anyway, and he did not like that, and his way of expressing that was, fuck you, C-word.
Wow.
Which was interesting. But then, of course, the rest of the show, anyone who called in was like, first off, Katie, want to apologize on behalf of all men for that guy, Michael. And it was like, got to a point where it's like, all right, I get, you don't have to protect me. I'm not a gentle, small little flower. I've been called that. I'd say I've been called worse, but I don't know that there's much worse you can call somebody. But it was just it was interesting. But aside from that dickhead, it was pretty fun. It's pretty cool that you can just talk for 3 hours about anything you want to. I like having that outlet to be able to just it's what the greatest thing about this podcast was when we started it. That it wasn't scripted, it wasn't, I mean, we've got an outline that we follow so we don't go off the rails, but it's cool to just be able to chat with my friends about sports stuff and not worry about hitting all these, like reading a script or making sure every fact is perfectly accurate, just the way you would talk to your friends.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's awesome.
It's fun.
Love it.
Moving on in the podcast, it's time now for America's favorite new game. I mean, everyone's
baby.
talking about it. Pick your poison.
Yes.
Ooh. Yeah, pretty exciting. Quick reminder on how this works. There's 5 categories on the board, kind of like Jeopardy. I have no idea what's hidden behind each one, but I'm going to pick 3 just based on the name. Pick whichever ones I like. Each time I pick one, Garrett's going to reveal a question that has 2 options. Then I'm going to hear the case for either option, and then I'm going to make my pick, and my producers are going to make their picks. And then we open it up to you guys on Twitter to see if you agree with me or the producers, or if you disagree. So let's do that first. Let's go over what we had last week.
Yeah.
Last week my questions were, the first one was, which is the less exciting Oscar winner, The Revenant or The Big Short? Neither one. Spotlight did, but I said The Revenant. Dave, what did Twitter say?
Twitter said The Revenant, 52%.
It was a close one.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Nobody really went either way because they're both like, it's like, which one's more boring, vanilla ice cream or white bread? And it's like, well, I can't really, they're both pretty lame, but delicious. The second question was, who's hornier, Rob Gronkowski or Kurt Rambis? I said Rambis.
Correctly.
Correctly. Twitter said?
Gronk, 70%.
And now the reason for that, I think we can all agree, is that maybe not everybody in the world listens to our podcast.
Right.
And when that came across their time, I know. It's a sad truth you've got to accept.
Wow.
But when that came across their timelines, obviously, if you see the word horny and you see Gronk as an option, you're picking Gronk. But, I mean, go back and listen to the facts. It's very clearly Rambis.
Yes.
There's no argument against that I will entertain.
That's right.
And the third question was, which OKC hotel problem is worse, bed bugs or ghosts? This was an interesting one to watch on Twitter. I said bed bugs. You both said ghosts, right?
I said
I
bedbugs.
certainly said
You
ghosts.
said ghosts. What did Twitter say?
Twitter said bedbugs, 76%.
Yeah, and
What's
even
wrong with you
Jason
guys?
Gay
Landslide.
tweeted, it's like, of course the answer is bed bugs, or you have to be insane, or something like that.
Wow.
Wow.
What do you say?
We don't
What
work
say
for
you?
the Wall Street Journal here,
What
but I
say
will
you,
say,
producer Matt? Why did you pick ghosts?
have a brush with the ghost, and you'll change your mind. Just saying. Just saying.
Get your bathtub filled by a ghost and you'll change your mind.
If Taj Gibson's afraid, I'm afraid.
So I went 2-1 on agreeing with you guys, which seems pretty par for the course of life.
Yeah.
So all right, let's welcome producer Garrett to reveal this week's category.
Hey guys, welcome back to Pick Your Poison.
Oh, yeah.
You want to hear the categories this week?
No.
Okay, we're going to get into them. Number 1, grumpy old men.
Ooh.
2, Golden State Warriors.
Woohoo!
3, sensitive superstars. 4, rathletes. And 5, I don't imagine you'll pick this one, Katie, but puppies and pies.
All right, I'm going to start us off with rathletes.
Rathletes remix. Would you rather watch Nelly beating a drunk Allen Iverson in H.O.R.S.E, or Marshawn Lynch rapping on a camel in Egypt?
Is there context for Nelly versus Iverson?
Oh, of course there is.
Current or old?
Well, it's,
Okay,
I'll tell you. It's an old story that Allen Iverson just revealed this week.
Okay.
And
Tell me
the
more.
story is that he once lost a game of horse to Nelly in a game played at Jermaine Dupri's studio, because obviously Jermaine Dupri has a basketball court at his studio.
Obviously.
Of course.
But the only reason he lost, he said, is because he had been drinking, so he was drunk. And obviously Nelly showed up in his Air Force Ones, got hot in her.
Everyone should watch the video version of this. Katie's face right now is of utter confusion.
So he lost to Nelly at a game of horse because he was drunk.
Right, and it was at Jermaine Dupri's basketball court, just to like add another
Was
layer
this
to it.
like
Basketball
right
studio.
after the practice thing? Because
I
wasn't he
imagine.
drunk for that?
I imagine, probably.
Okay.
There's no video of this, but like, how much would you want to watch
So here's the
drunk
thing.
Iverson?
There's
playing Nelly
100%
Horse?
video of it. We'll never see it.
Right.
But it exists. Actually, what year was that?
I have to fact check the exact year.
Because we're talking about names that like could be relevant for
Yeah.
like the crossover of importance for like this was years like
Yeah.
lots
Based
of years.
on context, like 96.
Yeah, so maybe there wasn't video of it. 'Cause back then, in order to take video, you had to own a camcorder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Those were the days.
imagine what that would be like
Yeah.
lugging that around.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Okay, so that's and then the other one is Marshawn Lynch riding a camel rapping.
Yes, in Egypt. So right now, Marshawn Lynch is in Egypt with other NFL players like Gary Barnidge and Barkevius Mingo. Yes, Katie, I did pick them because they have funny names. And someone miraculously shot video of Marshawn rapping on the back of a camel. He's traveling around the world to globalize American football and reach out
Which he
to
doesn't play
underprivileged
anymore
kids.
professionally.
Right. But I think the real beneficiaries of this charity trip is us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of that amazing video
raps on a
of
camel.
him riding. Was he rapping or wasn't he like, "We in here"? That's really all he said.
He was, and then he's like, "I'm ghost riding the camel."
Which I have a problem with because no, you're not.
No,
you're not
he wasn't.
ghost riding anything. You were
Nope.
just riding it. He didn't even like try to lean back and pretend to be ghost riding it.
He can call it whatever he wants.
He was like
He's
bed
on a
bug
camel
riding it. He
rapping.
wasn't ghost riding that at all. Did you
Yeah.
get that call back? It's
Oh, that
ghosts
was
versus
good.
bed bugs. Thank you guys. Just
Wow.
hold your applause. Hold your applause. Yeah, no. Okay, so I know my pick, but I'm not allowed to go first. Do we need to discuss this more, or are we good to make our pick?
No,
So
let's make our pick.
So which you'd rather see?
I personally would rather watch drunk Allen Iverson losing to Nelly in a game of H.O.R.S.E. I
Yeah.
think that would be highly entertaining.
Okay.
Yeah.
Samesies.
So I'll give you the answer to your question. Allen Iverson losing in horse,
Why did I pick-
obviously.
Oh, the answer.
Yeah.
I'm still mad at him about when he was supposed to be on Crowd Goes Wild and he never showed up.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
shout to Jermaine Dupree, by the way. Great
did
guest,
show
I
up.
guess.
Yeah.
two
Do you remember
segments.
how you opened that show?
I remember what I wanted to say.
Okay.
I don't know that I remember what it was. Do you remember the real opening? Because the one I had written that
Okay.
they changed was I knew Allen Iverson was the answer. I just didn't know the question was, who's a dick? And they were like, nah, I don't think we can.
So we have some notes.
Yeah, a couple notes.
So the one you went with, which was not as good, which was Allen Iverson was supposed to show up for the show today. We asked, and he canceled on us. We asked him why, but he didn't have the answer.
Yeah.
It was a more PG version
Right.
of. I was like, I'm willing to say, instead of dick, I could say asshole or who's gonna stand up your show at the last minute. I'm like, but the setup of that joke, and they're like, no, it's too mean.
So which would you rather watch? Nelly beating drunk Allen Iverson or Marshawn Lynch rapping on a camel?
So I've seen Marshawn Lynch rap on that camel. And just by that principle alone, because I haven't seen AI lose to Nelly, then I want to see it. Because
Yeah.
it's like, you can't have a cookie, Katie. Well, I want a fucking cookie. I can't ever see video of that. I want to see video of that. That's the one I'm going with. What categories do we have left?
Remaining categories: grumpy old men, the Golden State Warriors, sensitive superstars, and puppies and pies.
I'm going to go with puppies and pies.
Puppies
Oh,
and
yeah.
pies. I never would have guessed.
So surprised.
The greatest category of all
It's
time.
funny because it also sounds like a cop-out. Like they don't have anything to do with each other, but there's a story about puppies and there's a story about pies, and they both start with P's, and you knew I'd pick puppies anyway.
Oh, we
You
found
could have
out.
called the
Yeah.
category Pup Pies.
That was pitched. That was pitched.
Well, I
Sounds
quit.
too much like it's like Popeyes, I guess. Go ahead, Garrett. Sorry.
Popeyes. What's better for sports, Katie? Dog ball boys or pies in the face? Let's hear about this.
As a person who has never had a dog ball boy but has had a lot of pies to her face,
that's right.
shout out to Crowd Goes Wild.
Yeah.
I've seen the video of the dog ball boys. It's the best thing ever. And so we'll get into that one in a second. But what's the with pies in the face? Give me some context.
All right, so I can fill you in there. Orioles outfielder Adam Jones tweeted this week some, quote, terrible news to O's fans like myself. They will no longer pie players in the face after big wins for safety reasons.
What are the safe?
Because
what
I
are the
guess it
safety-
can get in your eyes, or maybe somebody could hurt their arm launching a pie right into someone's face. I don't know.
For a sport that's known for dumbass injuries,
Yeah.
like
right.
I slammed my locker, so I broke my
Sneezing.
finger, and
Yep.
we do this thing where we chop wood at the beginning of a game, and I accidentally chopped my hand off with an axe in the locker room.
It could be problematic for baseball
We're gonna
players.
get rid of pies in the face.
Pies in the face. Yeah. He did say, though, there might be a chance that they still do this, and he solicited suggestions for other celebrations, including hashtag pants them.
Oh.
I'm in now. I'm in on
Yeah.
it. I love this idea.
Yeah.
I agree. You're right. Pies are super dangerous. Take your fucking pants
Have you
off.
seen like Pablo Sandoval? I don't know if I'd be in on.
No,
on that
I'm
part.
good with him keeping his pants
Yeah.
on forever.
Yeah.
He loves pies.
The pies wouldn't make it
Does.
to the anywhere but his body.
Yeah.
If that was the thing.
Fat shaming Pablo Sandoval.
Yeah.
Love him though. So okay, pies in the face.
Yeah, for people who have not seen this dog video, we'll put the link to it up on our YouTube page. But
Wow. Look at us getting fancy
Yeah.
with like directing people where to watch videos.
shit. But
Multi-platform, give us that Emmy. You know what I'm saying?
but 4 shelter dogs rescued in Sao Paulo were trained as ball dogs for an exhibition tennis match this week at the Brazil Open, and it was just awesome.
So, like, were they effective? Not really. Because when a dog goes and gets a tennis ball, he doesn't bring it right back to you. And when he does, he wants to kind of wrestle you for it, or else he's just giving over the ball. So it didn't necessarily work in the traditional sense, but did it ever work for me? It made me want to watch every tennis match ever,
There you
which is
go.
a feeling I don't often experience. So I'm all in on those things. They were so cute. But also, why did nobody think through that the slobber on the ball would then probably
Yeah.
affect the way?
Great
that-
Imagine that.
They
You're
need you to get
tossing
some
it, there's
notes.
spit falling in your eyes and stuff.
So maybe it was just a thing to get us to talk about the Brazil Open.
We're talking about it.
I know.
Yeah, it worked, but I just think it's like, you're right. Let's try this again.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Dogs love running after balls and bringing
Sure
them back
do.
to people.
And a lot of college football teams, don't they have dog? I think they have dogs that take the. Is it what? Yeah, the tee that they put the ball in. That's the thing,
Do
right?
they really?
Yeah, they have.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Who's the team that has the blue field?
Boise State.
Boise State.
I think Boise State might have a black lab
Oh.
who runs out, takes the tee, and runs back. I
amazing.
could be completely making up. I could be mad-libbing those facts. It may be a different school, a different kind of dog, and a different thing that it fetches. But like
Boise
a
State,
dog
the
at
bulldog,
a college
T.
picks something up off the field and runs off with it. It's definitely not Uga. That dog doesn't do shit.
No.
That dog just sits there.
He is relaxing.
Just chills in like a it's like air-conditioned
That's right.
hut. Anyway, getting a little off topic,
Yeah.
which already wasn't really on any sort of topic. What's your pick, producer Matt?
I just am like envisioning this moment of Federer, Djokovic, Wimbledon finals, match point, and the dog's running around and they can't get the ball. It's 40-30. It's very tense here at the Wimbledon finals. What's this? The dog's running around with the ball. Someone grab the ball. Someone grab the ball.
You think you have a problem with that?
No,
That's
no,
amazing.
Amazing. I need to see that. Let's
I
make that
do.
happen. Dog ball boys.
Same way, dog ball boys. I mean, I just want to see the little dog just like roll around with the ball and everyone like flipping out, and I could see Djokovic getting really mad about that, and it would just be a great moment.
What's better for sports, Katie? Dog ball boys or pies to the face?
So I love dog ball boys. The question is, what's better for sports?
Yeah.
So like okay, dog ball boys.
That would have been the biggest
I know,
upset of
I
all
know.
time.
What is she doing?
I just love them. They're like objectively awful for the
terrible.
sport. But then again, like pies aren't all that great for the sport. And I kind of have an ideological problem with them in that they're not pies. It's a graham cracker crust covered in whipped cream.
Wow.
Which is not a pie. If you had like a potluck dinner and you said, bring over a pie, and someone just brought a graham cracker crust full of Cool Whip,
Cool Whip.
you'd be like, what is this?
Oh my
cool.
gosh.
Why did you bring this, Quill Wheaton? Quill Wheaton, I'm never inviting you back to my potluck dinner. So anyway, what do we got left? I got to pick one more
We have
category.
three remaining categories, one more choice. Grumpy old men, the Golden State Warriors, or sensitive superstars.
Wow. You're really shining. You're owning this moment. I'm going to go with, was it sensitive superstores?
It was sensitive superstars pronounced like an idiot. Katie, who is more sensitive, Carmelo Anthony or LeBron James?
Ooh. So many supporting arguments pop to my mind
yeah.
for either here, but I'm going to defer to my experts, producer Matt.
Yes. So I'm here to tell you about why LeBron James is very sensitive, Katie. So
Easiest job you've ever had, I
Yeah.
think.
Well, the latest instance, I should say, because he very much is. LeBron James tweeted something a little mysterious this week. It said, quote, "It's okay to know you've made a mistake, because we all do at times. Just be ready to live with whatever that comes with it." Which
Okay.
seems a little vague. Here are some possibilities. Could he be talking about Kevin Love, who's like definitely not being used properly in Cleveland? Could he be talking about Kyrie Irving, who's this week reportedly might be a little unhappy there?
So the weird thing,
Or
really quick, just to
himself.
interject really quick. The thing that came out this week about Kyrie Irving that everybody's talking about was Stephen A. Smith saying that a while ago he heard that Kyrie Irving wasn't happy there, which we all knew already. So it's very
Right.
kind of weird. I think this is just indicative of the fact that it's March and we need
Yes.
to talk about something. He also specifically said, Stephen A. Smith, I haven't talked to him or anybody around him, but I think I've heard that. Like, so, okay,
Great
so you're
reporting.
openly saying it's not a story, but it worked. We're all like, oh God, Kyrie's not happy there.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was the third?
It apparently worked on LeBron. I mean, the other thing is LeBron, he's talking about, we've made a mistake. Like, could he be talking about himself even? Coming
In
back
what
to Cleveland?
way?
Coming back to Cleveland?
You think he made a mistake?
Who knows?
Okay, Dave, give me the Carmelo.
So Carmelo was getting heckled by a Knicks fan at MSG during Tuesday night's loss to Portland. And instead of just ignoring this, like most NBA players do, Carmelo said the fan kept calling his name, saying you guys suck, and he's never coming to another game again.
Wow, that's all groundbreaking stuff that no
Right,
one gets
yeah.
yelled at them all the time.
So
I'm
Carmelo,
sure we all yelled that when we were in Knicks games.
and so Carmelo starts talking to the guy and points
Never
to
a good idea.
Points to James Dolan and says, "Look, the owner's right there. You deal with that with him and see if you can get your money back." And
Good one, Mello.
Yeah, good one, Mello. It's like, dude, you're an NBA player. Like, why are you like getting in conversations with these guys and then being like, and that guy over there, it's his fault, not mine. So you should talk to him.
How dare that fan suggest that Mello sucks when in the middle of a basketball game, Mello's focused on what a fan is saying to him as opposed to,
Great point.
playing a basketball game.
Yeah.
Mello's, I don't know if it's because, we live in New York, and so I hear more about the Knicks and Mello than I would if I lived somewhere else, but boy, am I sick of that guy.
I know, and there was also the
Boy,
weird.
am I.
I
What
would say
weird?
also this week, Amari Stoudemire said some things that.
Oh, yeah.
Like some veiled comments suggesting that the reason Jeremy Lin didn't stay in New York is Carmelo wanted him out because.
And
he
then
didn't
Mello was
yeah.
like, if that were...
Which is
if-
ridiculous.
And Mello's like, he's not talking about me. If he were talking about me, then I wouldn't like Kristaps Porzingis. It's like, okay, cool. That doesn't clear anything up. Yeah, okay, so who's more sensitive?
Who is more sensitive, Carmelo Anthony or LeBron James?
They're both such delicate little flowers. Producer Matt, what do you think?
Look, LeBron James is tweeting one of my old away messages from high school. Okay?
I know, right?
He is
Pretty
so
sure it's a
sensitive.
Simple Plan lyric. I'm pretty sure.
Absolutely, yeah. Like we're all supposed to like maybe know who he's talking about, but not really. Like those in the know what he's talking about. Like get out of here, LeBron. Man up. Just say it. Kyrie's upset. Pass to Kevin Love. End of take.
End of take. Maybe he's going through something personal, like relationship-wise.
Maybe he's lived in Cleveland for 2 years after leaving goddamn Miami
That's true.
and is full of regret.
That's true. David.
I think Melo's more sensitive. I mean, he cried and cried to get traded here, and now he's here, and things haven't gone as he wanted, and he's bitched about not being the big enough superstar, and it's like,
Wait.
and then so now you're gonna keep crying, and then when a fan tells you suck, which the team does suck, it's like them being like, oh, it's Dolan's fault. It's just like, dude, man up.
Yeah. You both have now said man up to both of these professional athletes who could easily
giants.
kick your asses on
these giant
a
millionaires.
podcast hosted by a woman. So LeBron sent out a tweet, and we, like people in the media, and not necessarily us, but like everybody else, makes that a story. When really it was just a tweet. I've sent tweet. If everything I sent out into the Twitter ether was like taken as a news story, people are like, wow, why does Katie think we care that she ate chicken parm for lunch? Like, I cannot believe she's that self-involved. It's like, I don't think you care. I just sent the tweet because maybe it meant something to someone. Peyton Manning? I don't know. But like, if every tweet that gets sent gets turned into a news story, that's not really LeBron's fault. Whereas Melo is at a basketball game and taking time out of his professional career as an athlete to address a person who's like, I don't like you. It's not like the guy said anything about that was reported, that about his personal life or anything except that the Knicks suck, which is
Very
gospel
true.
at this
Yes.
point. That's not like, you can't really debate. That's a fact. And that Melo's bad?
Yeah, and that he's never coming to another game.
Yeah, okay. So just let that guy never come back to another game. Also, you know that guy's coming back to another game now that Melo turned and like acknowledged it.
Yeah, if that guy was sitting close enough to talk to Carmelo Anthony,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's going to come back to other games.
But I do kind of support sending everyone to give Jim Dolan shit, because boy, Jim Dolan is the worst. But anyway, I'm going to say Melo is the more sensitive athlete.
The categories we did not choose this week, guys. Great work, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. You did okay.
The unchosen categories: grumpy old men. Who's the bigger curmudgeon, Phil Jackson or Tom Coughlin?
Based on no facts, Phil Jackson.
Got it. I agree with you. Based on no facts.
He also
And
just doesn't know how Twitter works. That's all that happened this week, was that he sent out that tweet and was like, why is everybody taking that thing I said and running with it? It's because you tweeted it.
He also doesn't know how Steph Curry works.
Yeah, he doesn't know how anything
Right.
works.
Yeah.
and the second one is Golden State Warriors. Is the Warriors' domination good or bad for the NBA?
Wait, is their dominance good or bad?
Yeah. Do you think it's better for the NBA or worse?
I say better, because I can't not watch Golden State games.
Yes.
I agree with you.
I just have to, and I have no connection to that team.
Right.
But I can't not watch.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I'm, even as a Spurs fan, I can't not watch also.
Yeah, so good. Okay, that went well, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That was Pick Your
Smooth.
Poison, week 2. Remember to make your choices in our Twitter polls. Our Twitter name is @GarbageTime, and we tweet out little polls, and then you just click on a little thing, and then you'll see.
And almost 10,000 people voted this week, which is pretty cool. So let's keep
10,000
that.
people. Next week I'll reveal your picks and how they compare to mine. This is fun. I enjoyed this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
I
Vote.
enjoyed this game a lot.
Hashtag get involved.
Yeah, get involved.
That's right.
Before we get to the Frankie Edgar interview, I want to tell you guys about Lyft. Told you a little bit about Lyft last week. It's that app, Lyft. It's an app on your phone that you can use to get a cab, essentially, to take you anywhere you want to, anytime you want to go anywhere. Like, really anytime. When it's hard to find a cab on the street, if you live in a city like we do in New York City, it's easy to get a Lyft. You just open up the app, tell it where to come get you, you tell it where you want to go, and then it takes you there. And you don't have to hand over cash because your payment is saved into your phone, so it's like super easy, which actually becomes inconvenient later if you ever do take another cab because you forget to pay them because you're so used to the ease and convenience of using Lyft. Lyft also has 3 types of rides. There's regular Lyft, which is just you and a driver, and they're all very nice people. I've had very interesting conversations with my Lyft drivers, and I hate conversation. But these are good ones. So there's just regular Lyft, you and a driver. There's Lyft Plus, which is for larger groups, and then there's Lyft Line, which is carpool, where you carpool with other people who are using Lyft. You save a bunch of money, and you make a ton of new friends. Look at that, just sharing rides with people, embracing other people around you. We don't do enough of that anymore. Usually technology makes us all separated. This technology is bringing us all together. Isn't that beautiful?
We're getting somewhere.
I agree. And Lyft is a great value. It's better, it's faster, it's cheaper, but now they also have an exclusive offer just for my listeners because I love it, and I know you will too. You can save up to $30 on your first 3 rides. The easiest way to do that, go to lyft.com/Katie. That's lyft.com/Katie. Enter your phone number, and they'll send you a message to activate your offer. Again, the website is lyft.com/KATIE. Don't wait. This amazing offer won't last, and it's only for our listeners.
Sweet.
Yeah, really sweet.
Nice.
You guys been lifting?
For sure, I love it.
Do you even lift, bro? That should be their company slogan.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys can take that if you need it, Lyft. Just call me about how much I'm going to charge you to take that slogan. Do you even
It's
lift?
a lot.
Do you even lift, bro? So earlier this week, I sat down with UFC fighter Frankie Edgar. He had a very exciting week, and he came and hung out with us, which was pretty cool to talk about what's going on with him. So we talked about UFC, asked him if he would step in to fight Conor McGregor on Saturday, which is a pretty interesting story there. We asked why he got so angry at Dana White in regards to that whole situation, and we talked about how he feels about Conor saying that Frankie Edgar has a sore vagina. Such a wordsmith, that Conor McGregor. So here that is. Take a listen. Frankie, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Interesting week for you this week. For people who don't know the story, UFC 196 is Saturday night. It was supposed to be Conor McGregor versus Rafael dos Anjos. Nailed it.
Perfect.
For the lightweight title. But then last week, RDA pulled out because he broke his foot. And then the UFC contacted you to step in and fight Conor, correct?
Yes.
What did they say when they reached out to you?
They reached out to my manager. Me and Rafael dos Anjos have the same manager, so he was telling him that he broke his foot, and they asked would Frankie be willing to fight him at 55. But I've been dealing with injury for the past month, so he contacted me, he contacted, I believe, Aldo, and Nate Diaz too.
So you've got a torn groin, right? Is the main injury
I tore
you got rid of?
my adductor tendon. Yeah.
That does sound more serious than groin. Groin just sounds silly.
Yeah. It's a tear. Tore some muscles in there, but I'm rehabbing.
Do you think they knew you were injured when they reached out?
No, I don't think they knew. Because I've been trying to, when you get hurt, you don't like to tell people about it. So I kind of been keeping a hush. So I don't think they knew.
Did any part of you think about fighting or consider, even though you're injured?
I mean, a little bit. I did, just because I'm kind of stubborn and I knew it was a great opportunity. But I haven't done anything of substance, for a month. And I mean, I'm doing what I can because I like to stay active. But I haven't grappled, I haven't done jiu-jitsu or wrestled or anything in a long time. So it'd be tough to get ready for a fight on 10 days' notice, being injured also.
Right. You wouldn't want to take a big fight and then not be ready for it. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. I feel I put myself in a position at 45 where I should be fighting for that title next, and I don't want to go out there and fight a fight where I'm not even 30% and not training much, and on 10 days' notice end up losing that position.
Right. So where the story gets kind of interesting is after you said you couldn't fight, Dana White insinuated that you refused to fight Conor. And then you got kind of angry. What bothered you so much about him saying that? Yeah,
I was just bothered the way it kind of went down. I felt like he's kind of not messing with my integrity, but I'm always game. I'm always usually in pretty good shape. I'm always training. This kind of came up in July when Jose Aldo pulled out, and they needed a replacement, and I stepped up on, I believe it was 15 days notice. And
I feel like that happens a lot. They just expect you guys to be ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's in this sport, guys get hurt all the time, and they have these main events. They put so much money into them. They want to, keep guys on the card. They don't want to just cancel the card. So, in July, I was willing to step in, and I was injury free, and I wasn't even in, fight shape, but I was training, and I still, they ended up giving it to Chad Mendez. But this time around, I don't know. I have some theories. I think they Chad. He was filming a hunting show. He probably wasn't training much.
What?
Yeah, he's filming he's a big hunter, and he was filming a hunting show, I believe, at the time. He was living in the woods, and he jumped on the opportunity, just like anybody would, and they went with him. I don't know if because they thought he wasn't as prepared as maybe I would have been.
Oh, so you're saying they picked the guy who maybe wouldn't
maybe,
have won.
I don't know. I'm not. Listen, I'm done stirring feathers here. I think
theory.
I've been poking at Dana a little too much. So it's just my theory.
Well, he's been poking at you too. He sent you a text that said, "I have it here. I'm going to read it. What are you mad about? I called and offered you the fight. Whether you're hurt or not, you turned it down. This is a business of opportunity. When opportunity pops up, some people take it and some don't. Yes, you're injured, but a lot of guys are injured. Don't get mad at me because you got the phone call and couldn't take the fight."
Yeah, and he's right. He's right in a sense where it's not his fault, but a lot of guys get hurt. A lot of guys. He can't. I wasn't signed to fight. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I was signed to fight,
it's not like you were bailing on a fight that you had planned to.
Exactly. I'm sitting home, rehabbing an injury, and I get a call, and I don't know how it looks bad on me at all in any way, shape, or form. I was more hurt by him, kind of implying that I wasn't willing to take the fight. If I was even half-ass training and healthy, I would have jumped all over it.
So do you think that they wanted you to fight it knowing you were injured so that the outcome would be the one they want?
No, I don't think so. I think they, I think they're they probably would let me take it. I don't know if, I'll be honest, I said this before, and again, I'm not trying to piss off the brass. Not trying to piss off the brass, but I don't even know. Again, I said I'd fight in July.
Yeah.
When they asked me, I said, of course, I'll fight in July, and they still didn't give it to me. I have a feeling, they would say, threw it out there, hey, would Frankie be willing to fight at 55? I think if I said yes, there's a good chance that I still wouldn't have gotten that fight. I think Nate is the fight that they wanted to make.
Why?
I just think that's, they're both great trash talkers. A lot of people are interested in it. And, I think maybe they think that's the best matchup for Conor right now. It's easy to promote. But, you heard Nate in his speech. They've been calling me for months, So I feel like that's the fight they wanted to make, regardless of whether I could or not.
There's still this narrative, though, that you're ducking Conor. How do you respond to that?
I think it's funny because it goes from him ducking me for the longest time. People have been saying it. He had many opportunities, in the summertime. Before he went up, he could have defended the 45-pound belt. So it's kind of funny now he wants to say I'm ducking. Now he wants to fight me on 10 days' notice when I'm hurt. But no other time before,
Weird.
You know? Yeah, a little weird.
Doesn't really look good for him. What else doesn't look good for him is that he likes to talk about vaginas a lot. His reaction to all of this was that you have a sore vagina, that you broke your vagina. Frankie never shut up and then was given a phone call on a date, and he hasn't been seen or heard from since. I'm seeing you right now and hearing from you as well.
Yes.
So that's not exactly true. How is your vagina feeling?
Oh, the vagina's good.
What do you think about that? Him, you know, I mean, it's Conor, so he's always going to say something.
I mean, you got to take everything he says with a grain of salt, because, I mean, he kind of reminds me of my 1-year-old daughter. He doesn't shut up, and I can't understand half the shit he says. You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, he's great at what he does. He does. I mean, he makes me laugh sometimes. Even when he's talking about me, he makes me laugh. He's a funny guy, but I don't take him serious. Yeah,
sometimes it seems like in order to be a star in the UFC, you've got to be, it's more important to be like a smack talker than to actually.
It's starting to become a little WWE-like, you know? I mean, they want, you know, loud mouths. They want guys that can prove themselves. And I'm following suit, you know, kind of the squeaky wheel gets the oil. And, you know, if I want to be heard, I gotta make some noise.
Yeah? So, like, what do you want to say to Conor?
Oh, Conor knows. I mean, listen, if he's as tough as he is, and, you know, the UFC believes in him so much, come to 45, let me get a camp, and I'll guarantee I'll walk home with that belt.
Guarantee?
Guaranteed.
Last week you said the C in UFC stands for Conor. What do you mean by that?
I just felt he was, you know, he's kind of running the show here a little bit. He's going up to 55, now he might go up to 70.
How do you feel, like, what are your thoughts on that? As a person who, like, you don't see that often, and do you think he should be able to just bounce around weight classes?
I think he can. I think it's fine. If he's able to succeed and do, you know, be successful at these weight classes, yeah, no problem. Just don't hold up the 45-pound belt,
right.
You know. If you can't make it, because I just read something that Nate said he agreed to fight at 55, and they're saying Conor said no, let's make it 70. So if he was about to fight at 55 and fight for the title, he should have been able to make 55. So I don't know why he's saying not to make it 70. So that, to me, that just seems like he can't cut all. He's not willing to cut to 55. How's he going to cut back down to 45?
Yeah.
So if he can't make the weight, or it's too much of a cut, just got to let it go.
You think he should have to just give up the title?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I would much rather him come down and I could take it from him.
Yeah.
I want to take it from the most current champion.
Right.
But if he's going to never come down, he can't just hold on to it. It's got to go to someone else.
Will they just hold that fight and wait until he can get down?
I don't know.
That seems sort of catering to him.
I think they do cater him pretty often lately, you know.
Wow. It'll be like UFC 350 by the time he can get back down.
It
we'll
might
be waiting for a real long time.
It might be. You know, he loves to cut a lot of weight to be the biggest guy in there.
Yeah.
You know, this weekend he's not going to be.
How do you think this fight's going to go? The actual fight? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, you know, it's tough because Nate is coming off, 10 days notice, and we don't know. I mean, I know he likes to train a lot. I'm sure he's in the gym, but it's the difference between training and being in fight shape, especially 5 rounds, which is kind of another weird thing. I don't know why it's still 5 rounds, and it's going to be the main event ahead of a title fight.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little funny, but hence the C in UFC.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
But,
I'm starting to see what you're talking about.
There you go. So, I think Nate matches up well with him. If Nate could Nate has a pretty good chin. If he can, not get rocked by Conor's left hand, he's got the range and volume to really put pressure on Conor.
Ideally, how many days does it take you training-wise? I mean, I know you can't necessarily put a number on it, but for you to say you're ready and what's the shortest notice you could get that you feel like you're in good fight shape?
Well, for me, I'm never too far out of shape usually. When I'm not banged up or anything.
Me neither.
But
I'm always pretty close to peak physical.
Yeah,
condition.
you got to stay on the toes a little bit. But yeah, I mean, if I'm in so much shape, give me 4 or 5 weeks, I can get in 5-round shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so 10 days is tough.
10 days is tough, but again, if I was healthy, I would have done it.
Yeah.
Just because it's the magnitude of the opportunity.
And so you think McGregor's gonna win, or you think Diaz is gonna win?
I'm gonna say Diaz.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Diaz. I think Diaz is gonna spoil the party, and Conor's gonna have to come back home to 45, and I'll be there waiting for him with a shotgun.
Who do you think gets Conor first, you or Aldo?
I think me. I think it's the fight that most people are talking about. They've seen Aldo and Conor already, and they've seen kind of how that went. Not that Aldo doesn't deserve a rematch. He's been a champion.
Did we see how it went? That was
I mean, it was fast.
I blinked
it was
and
fast.
It
was over. Instagram worthy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 13 seconds. So, I think, I think I'm the guy that could beat him. I think a lot of people think I'm the guy that could beat him, and they want to see that matchup.
Why? Why do you think you can beat him?
I just feel I'm the most well-rounded guy he's probably ever fought against. And I'm to have a good head about myself. I don't think he's gonna really get inside me in my head.
Because that's like one of the most important parts. I feel like you've got to stay like you got to be
keel.
angry enough, but be even keel. Don't let him get in your
you
in
can't.
your head.
You gotta have controlled aggression. You can't just be super aggressive. I mean, you see what happened to Aldo. He went out there kind of. That's not his style either. He usually sits back and picks his shots. He went in there gunning for McGregor, and McGregor does a great job. Steps back, hits him with that left, and it's over.
I mean, his fans too are noisy, loud, really supportive. Does that like affect?
Nah, for me it doesn't. I wouldn't think so. It's you never know till you're in there. But I've been in some. I fought BJ Penn before, and I had the crowd against me, and in the beginning and by the end, I felt like they were screaming my name. So I think I could do that to the Irish crowd too.
That's quite a statement. You think you can turn him?
I do. I think the style, my fighting style. If I go out there and it's a typical Frankie Edgar fight, I feel like they'll be into it.
I love that. I wish I talked about myself in the third person more often. Like, this is a typical Katie Nolan podcast, just crushing it.
There you go.
So this weekend you're not fighting, but you're going to work for Fox as part of the broadcast team.
Yes.
How do you feel about that? Is this your first time doing that?
No, it's my second time working for Fox. I've done something for SportsCenter 2 before.
Oh, I've never heard of that program before. Not familiar. How do you feel about being behind the desk? You like it?
It's okay. It's something I could see myself doing in the future. I think for the whole, building up this fight and the fact that I'm a big part of Conor right now, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice.
Yeah, I think he's going to be coming up to the desk at least before, maybe after. So we'll see. It's gonna be.
So you may fight this weekend after all.
No, I'm going to try to keep it professional as much as I can.
Good for you. I wouldn't, and he probably won't.
No, I know. We'll see. You can only poke the bear so much.
Yeah. All right. Well, so since you're a broadcaster, another big fight is Holly Holm defending her title against Miesha Tate. How do you think that's going to go?
Yeah, I think it's, a lot of people see what Holly Holm did to Ronda Rousey and what Ronda Rousey did to Miesha Tate, but MMA math doesn't always add up, and I feel Miesha probably matches up better with Holly than Ronda did, just because she is more of that grinding wrestling style, Ronda's tried slinging it with her, maybe wasn't the best idea, and tried really pushing the pace, but I think you kind of need to back up Holly, put her against the fence, but not north-south. You need to kind of do it with angles, cut off the cage. And I think Miesha could do that, but I think Holly needs to fight her in the center. Keep her in the center. Use that good footwork like she used against Ronda, and try to land some powerful strikes.
Good footwork, like right in the
footwork right to the face.
Right to the side of the face.
That helps.
So who do you think's gonna win?
I'm gonna go with Miesha. I mean, I'm gonna go with Miesha. I'm gonna say Misha's gonna go and win, and then I think Ronda will come back and fight Miesha for a third time.
Amazing. That would be really exciting. Gotta ask you this question, and if it annoys you, whatever. True Life. You were on True Life on MTV. Love that show. Still watch it whenever it's on like a marathon. How often do people bring up that you were on? What was it? I'm a mixed martial artist.
Yeah, mixed martial artist. Pretty often, actually. So I'm like, I've been following you since True Life.
That's amazing.
It is.
How many years ago was that?
It's 2007, I believe. 2007, 2008. So.
How do you even get that? Like, how'd that happen?
Someone just emailed me. The producer, I think it's Pat Lope, actually emailed me and said he wanted to hear my story, and because I was a mixed martial artist. But I think what really got me to the spot was I was getting married at the same time, and so I wanted to document how I'm dealing with fighting. And I got married 10 days after my wedding, or 10 days after my fight. So.
Yikes, that's exciting.
It was cool. Had a black eye and everything.
Similar to marriage.
Oh, it's almost as hard.
Yeah. Are you glad you did that? Looking back on it?
Yeah, it was cool. It was definitely I wasn't accustomed to the cameras on my face at the time. They follow me around, and that kind of definitely I think ate at my nerves a little bit. But it's all part of the progression.
And it helped people know who you are and get you a fan base of probably 13-year-old girls who will never watch you fight.
Right.
But they know who you are.
They know who I am, and I got some random guys saying, "Hey, I'm maybe from True Life."
Which is cool.
Yeah, very cool.
You were on MTV.
Cool. I was the first Jersey Shore.
Whoa.
Representative of
Whoa.
MTV.
Is Tom's River Jersey Shore? Technically?
It's right over the bridge. So.
Tom's River. It just sounds like something out of a book. Doesn't sound like a real place.
No.
Tom's River, New Jersey.
It does.
It's fine. Hoboken doesn't sound like a real place either. And that's where I live. Cool. So we do this thing at the end of every podcast called Garbage 10. It's like 10 rapid fire questions, but they don't have to be rapid fire. They're just funny and you have to be honest.
Okay.
And you can't pass.
and is
Whether
like
you're injured or not, you can't pass.
One word answer? Or is
No. Say as much as you want.
Elaborate a little
Tell
bit,
a big long story if you feel like.
Right.
First question. What was your first AOL screen name?
Man, I don't know. I get ass 141.
No, it was not.
It was.
I get ass.
It was a joke. My buddies,
141.
It's my weight class.
I get ass. 141. Not subtle.
I swear to God.
I thought it was like Fight
said,
Boy
don't lie.
69.
You said, don't lie.
I get ass? Who let you do that? What are you talking about?
Oh, it was my buddies. I was not a big computer guy.
Oh, sure.
And it was my roommate in college who kind of came up with it and I ran with it.
He sounds like what's he doing now?
Yeah.
He sounds like a real visionary. I get ass, 141. That's good. That might be the best answer we've gotten so far. Okay, ranch or blue cheese?
Blue cheese.
Why?
It's better with the buffalo wings.
Gross.
Yeah.
What is the first concert you ever went to? Not the first cool concert.
No, first concert I went to was Smoke and Grooves concert.
What?
The Smoke and Grooves?
What was that?
It's like I don't know. I don't know if they still have it. I think they do, but Cypress Hill was there, Wu-Tang was there.
Whoa.
I think,
Okay.
yeah.
That's fine.
It was a good time.
Mine was Britney Spears.
Britney Spears, huh?
Who's your favorite superhero?
Oh, favorite superhero.
This is important, so
It
take
is.
time and think about it.
I'm going to go Superman.
Wow.
I'll go Superman.
Original.
Original.
Why Superman?
Because he could probably beat everybody.
I mean, he really
I imagine
can.
he can. Besides the kryptonite,
Yeah, or like if you're on a planet that has a red moon. Otherwise,
I mean, he should win, right?
yeah.
On Earth, he
has
should
to.
win.
He like Batman versus Superman shouldn't even
That's
be a
not
thing.
even
Batman's
real.
just rich. He's not a superhero.
Should
He's-
lasers, that Superman get hit with the lasers?
yeah, it's not even a thing. I'm glad we agree. Do you put ketchup on top of your fries or on the side?
Both.
Like
I
at
go,
the same
"Wah,"
time.
and then, you know what I mean?
Wait, what do you go like?
I go, "Yeah," on the fries, and then a little dollop on the side.
Okay, aggressive. Use a fork then, or
Oh, no, hands.
hands?
Yeah.
Then you get ketchup all over your.
That's all right. Just
These sound effects are wonderful. What's your guilty pleasure TV show that like you're embarrassed to say you watch, but you do? Is it True Life?
Jeopardy. It's Jeopardy.
That's not embarrassing.
embarrassing? It's kinda embarrassing.
I fucking love Jeopardy.
I DVR it. That's kind of
Me
embarrassing.
too. But like my DVR is full of it because I have it like for repeats too. Because sometimes they'll air at like 2 a.m. and I just like to watch old Jeopardy.
Yeah, I try to count how many questions I get right. You know.
Yeah. I don't get that many right.
Sometimes hit or miss with me.
Yeah. Sometimes I have a really good episode where I'm on a tear, and then other times I don't know a single.
Usually that's like the teen edition. I do pretty good.
I feel good about myself. That's your guiltiest TV. You don't watch like Real Housewives?
Well, HGTV. My wife put me on that. What's that? What is it?
Love It or List It?
That no. Yeah, I watch that one a little bit. I do. But the one Chip Gaines.
Oh, the flip, the one about flipping?
Not flip. The flip. That's another one I kind of watched. My wife was. This one's
Fixer Upper?
Fixer Upper. Fixer
Okay.
Upper. Yeah. That's it.
Fixer Upper.
Yeah.
That's guilty.
It's
That's
guilty.
the one
It's
that
kinda
you should
guilty, yeah.
not admit to. Do you floss before you brush your teeth or after?
After.
Okay. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Why not?
Because a sandwich has to have a bread on the bottom, bread on the top, not bread on the sides. Make sense?
That's fair. What was the last movie you went to see in the movie theater?
Last movie, what was it with my kids? Did I see? Was it the Minions movies? The Minions? That
Was
the
it
last one I
good?
saw. It was. It was really good, actually.
I feel like that's the benefit of having kids is you can see
get to run
movies
it
that you're
back,
not
yeah,
supposed to
yeah.
see, but you can really actually enjoy. If I went to see Minions like alone, it'd be weird.
A little awkward, right?
like, why is she
Don't
here?
sit next to that girl.
Yeah, she's alone. She's drinking. She smells like booze. Last one. You're about to be put to death. What's your final meal? I need entree, dessert, and beverage.
Entree is a steak,
Cooked how?
medium rare.
What kind of steak?
Ribeye.
Okay.
Ribeye.
What sides?
Mushrooms and onions. No?
Those aren't sides.
Sure, that goes on top of the steak,
Yeah,
right?
they're like toppings.
Oh, toppings.
But like, what about do you want like a mashed potato?
We go mash. We go mashed potato and
Cream
some Brussels
corn.
sprouts.
Ooh, Brussels sprouts with a little pancetta.
Yeah, perfect, perfect.
Okay, so dessert would be?
Dessert. Tiramisu. I like
Yum.
tiramisu. A little coffee. Put maybe a little espresso on the side.
Ooh. So is that your beverage, espresso? But you
little-
can't drink it while you're eating your steak. What would your
After.
beverage be?
Beverage. I'm about to get off.
Yeah, you're about to die.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna say a Heineken. Ease
Just
the
because
pain.
you're about to die?
Yeah, it's gonna ease the pain a little bit.
That would help. Heineken would help. Frankie, thank you for doing this.
No, I had a
You have a
blast.
super busy week and you came here, which is insane to me, but I appreciate it.
No, I had a blast. Thank you for having me.
Cool. Thanks again to Frankie Edgar and good luck on the broadcast this week and weekend.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Okay, everybody, it's time for junk mail.
You've got junk mail.
What do we got?
All right. Katie, we have a Bachelor-themed junk mail question this week.
Whoa.
It comes from Stephen, and I'm saying it like that because it's spelled S-T-P-H-N.
It's like the opposite of Steven. Has less vowels. None at all.
He asks, would y'all rather go first, second, or last for the fantasy suites? Now, for some context there,
There you go.
on this past episode of The Bachelor, 3 girls left, and he invites each of them into the fantasy suite, which is suggesting that he's going to sleep with them in the fantasy suite.
Is it suggesting or is it basically known?
It's basically known, unless like there have been times when like last season, Bachelor Chris asked Becca like, "Would you like to come to the fantasy suite with me?" And she's like, "Yeah, but just a heads up, bro, I'm a virgin."
Ooh.
So that then
Whoa.
then you're like, he's probably like, "Oh, okay, shockingly,
Wasted my pick."
Yeah, she didn't win. So the question is, if you're one of the 3 women remaining, would you rather be the first fantasy suite night, the second, or the third?
Also, none of us should get fired for this.
This is
I'm not getting fired
insane.
for Sven. I'm sorry,
I've always
Sven.
wondered what it's like to live in a brothel, and now we get to discuss it openly because it's
And you get to
called
pick
The
your room.
Bachelor. Are you kidding me? Okay, and I'm not. Again, I watched like 30 minutes of my second ever episode of The Bachelor this week. So I'm no expert. Maybe you guys will have facts to prove me wrong. My first instinct is obviously I'd like to go first because otherwise you're sleeping with a guy who just slept with 2 other people. Number one, that means he's going to compare everything you do to everything they did, whereas if you're going first, he hasn't been allowed to have sex all those days you guys have been there. So it's going to be great just because it's happening. And I like to set the bar real low so that I can just barely exceed it. And if you go last, it's like, oh, well, this last girl did this thing. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing that thing.
Counterpoint. Going last, you leave the lasting impression. By the time...
You play that inner Sandman,
Yeah,
you're
My
coming
God.
exactly.
closer.
You're the closer. By the time he is with you, the idea would be, oh, I don't even remember what the first girl was like. So now, rose ceremonies tomorrow, the freshest thing in my mind is the girl who had the last fantasy suite date, so of course I'm going to keep you.
There's no way that any woman is like, oh, I'm so bad at sex that if he has sex with 2 more people after me, he just will forget. You're just gonna forget?
I mean,
It's in a span of like a week. You had sex with one of them on Monday and one of them on Thursday, and you can't remember Monday? It was that bad? What are you talking about? Speaking of The Bachelor, Dave, good for you. You're in the finals.
I am.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've got JoJo.
Yeah, JoJo went last, by the way, in case anyone was wondering.
JoJo went last.
Yeah, and
Where'd the other girls go in what order?
Kayla, who got sent home, went first, and Lauren B went second.
Wow.
Big thing this week.
Poundtown.
Yeah, the fact I'm in the final 2.
Finals.
And this is like when we first started this, I'm like, yeah, the girl I picked stepped out of the limo wearing a unicorn mask.
Sure,
so
goddamn
fuck.
unicorn mask.
And
It's not distracting at all.
and now
I've
she
been doing
won
this
it.
every week.
And now she's in the final 2. And the big thing out of this week, major rules were broken.
Whoa.
Bachelor Ben
They said I
told
love you.
2 women that he loved them.
This
Never-
was the
yeah.
first impression I've had of I watched him tell JoJo that he loved her because she said I love you first, and I was like, oh girl don't, and then he goes, I love you too, JoJo, and her face, she was just so genuinely surprised. I could not believe a human would say I love you to another human if they were that much expecting him not to say it back. It was crazy to me to think that she gave herself a pep talk that was like, you know, he's never going to say it back, but I'm still going to go through with this.
Yeah, and I think she was shocked because, like, it's just like against the Bachelor rules that you're allowed to say "I love you" before you pick the final girl in the
Who
end.
sets a rule?
It's just
It's
like
the
one of
Bachelor
those.
rule book.
Honestly, it's because like producers would be like, okay, wait. So if he
Thou
says,
must not say I love you till thou hast chosen one lover from your fantasy suite.
Thou better not.
I think the idea behind it is that it reveals too much about what's going to happen. So there was no mystery in who he was going to send home because he told 2 girls he loved them and 1 he didn't.
So do you think... No, he didn't tell her he didn't love her. He just didn't tell her he
Right,
loved her.
right.
Big difference, trust me.
But she told him she loved him, and he's like,
Cool.
Smile.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Do you think, then, that he said I love you to the one that he probably ends up picking, and the producers were like, okay, we're not going to make you say it to all 3,
Wow.
but
Yes.
you got to at least say it to the one you are going to also pick. Because if
seems
you
possible.
said I love you to one of them, and then we have a rose ceremony and you give 2 girls a rose, and then you've said I love you to one, people will know, and no one's going to watch the finale.
honestly, I think you 100% just nailed it.
Yeah, they
Wow.
definitely made him say I love you
I
to the other one.
100% you nailed it.
So
That
did
is
it
a
seem
really good
genuine?
take.
I only watched him say it to JoJo, and it seemed kind of real.
Yep.
Who did it seem realer with? Did he initiate with Pound Town?
No. She
She
initiated
brought it
also, and they were very different.
Ballsy. Good for you, girls.
The one that seemed a little more genuine, you said how he said it to JoJo. Lauren B said she's been in love with him for a while.
In love with for
And
a while.
he responded
2
by
weeks.
saying-
2 weeks I've been in love with you. It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
And he said the same thing.
Shouldn't
He's
have
like,
left you.
well, Lauren, I've been...
That told me to stop to.
He
Sorry,
said,
go
I've
ahead,
been in
dude.
love with you for a while, too, now.
I've been in love with you for a while too now.
Since the show
what do
started.
these people think a long time is?
At least an hour.
Crazy people that went on a reality
I
show
would
to find
argue
out
they
how it's
haven't
been in
even
life.
they haven't even known each other long enough to have like fallen in genuine love. They certainly haven't known each other long enough to have fallen in love a long time ago. I fell in love with you 4 episodes ago in the A block.
Oh, man.
All right, so good luck to JoJo and you. And
Go,
so
JoJo.
this week there's like it's the reunion,
Yeah.
right? And they're not going to pick the winner till next week.
Correct.
That's such a cop out. Just
Yeah.
give me the
I know.
picks.
Keeping us waiting.
All right, guys, that's it. We will do this again next week. How's that sound? Sound good? You guys want
Yeah.
to still come back, or are you going to hop off?
Depends if we all got fired.
Great. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast on iTunes and rate it and leave a comment. But, as always, only if it's 5 stars and only if the comment is nice. Because if you don't have anything nice to say, log off. Or you can listen on
So sincere.
Art19.
Art19.
Art19, SoundCloud, Stitcher, or Google Play. Thanks again to Frankie Edgar, and good luck to him during the broadcast this weekend for Fox. And thanks to all of you for listening. Thanks, to Producer Matt.
Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome, Producer Dave.
Thank you.
Producer Garrett.
Thank you.
Thanks to Kirk. And also all of you for listening. I said that already. Bye. Love you. Mean it.